For the past few days, it has been impossible to scroll on YouTube for more than 5 seconds without being bombarded with angry Velma reviews. I saw the trailer when it came out and immediately knew I was not going to watch the show. Black Velma, Black Shaggy, no Scooby-Doo, and an unlikable self-righteous version of Velma as the star? No thanks. I assumed the rest of the internet was on the same page after the dumpster fire that was She-Hulk. But cut to now, and apparently people can't seem to stop watching the show despite how bad everyone keeps saying it is. I guess the internet just loves to complain, don't they? Andor was apparently one of the best Star Wars live-action TV shows of all time, and nobody seemed to be talking about it when it aired. But HBO Max releases a show that is clearly going to be trash, and everybody can't wait to watch the next episode and cry about how bad it is online. People are so weird. But I get it, negativity gets more reactions and more clicks. I mean, I'm here, aren't I? Part of the same mob that I'm talking about, watching the same show I said I wouldn't watch. Anyway, is Velma really as bad as people say? Let's find out ourselves now, shall we? This video is going to be talking about episode 1 of Velma and if it deserves all the hate that it's currently getting. Yo! So I wrote that part of the video before I saw the show, and after seeing episode 1, things are not looking so good. There's a lot of preaching way too early in the episode, with very inorganic dialogue that propels the preaching. The show is definitely too meta at its own risk, trying to demolish the fourth wall as fast as it can. Just 2 minutes into episode 1 and I'm already sick of it. It reminds me of how Thor Love and Thunder tried to be excessively funny at the detriment of the entire movie. You don't need to turn every character into Deadpool literally 2 minutes into the episode. Just show characters interacting with each other naturally. I'm not a fiction writer or a movie critic, but it feels like there's just a lot of exposition dump in the episode for no reason. I'm not sure what it is, but I can only describe it as a lot of inorganic dump of information that nobody asked for and is very irrelevant to the situation. You know I'm onto something because nobody usually feels that way when a good movie portrays useful information about the character or the plot to the viewers in an organic way. Like Thanos explaining to Doctor Strange how his planet died and how he plans to prevent that from ever happening again to other planets, as they both literally stand on the ruins of his home planet. What exactly does the story about your mom disappearing have to do with Fred feeling insecure about crying? So I might be onto something, but don't quote me on that yet. The show is also very unnecessarily sexual, at least in my opinion. It could just be the normal amount of sexual content we see in everyday modern shows, and I might just be too sensitive to such things right now because I recently gave my life to Jesus Christ, so I actively avoid lustful things. I would like to say that Euphoria might have been equally as sexual, but they never just had a random pregnant woman take off all her clothes for no reason at all in the middle of the house for a simple photo shoot, or just randomly show a bunch of naked girls showering together literally 2 minutes into an episode. Maybe that's just me, but I feel like Euphoria displayed nudity with a purpose, while Velma just does it for shock effect, which they literally admitted to, thinking it was going to be funny. The character assassination in this show is on another level. Characters we all grew up with are now completely different for no reason at all, and it is very strange and unnerving to watch. Fred went from being kind, compassionate and brave enough to protect his friends from whatever monster they had to face that week, to being a popular, dumb, self-centered, literal man-child that couldn't care less about anyone. Daphne went from being a very sweet, very nurturing, very feminine young lady to being a popular, self-absorbed bully that is mean to everyone, including her own friend group, for no reason at all. Shaggy went from being this chill dude that just loved food, loved hanging out with his best friend, and had the phrase bros before hoes engraved into his DNA so much that he would regularly ignore and reject Velma's romantic advances without even knowing it, to being this race-swapped black guy that doesn't even have his best friend Scooby-Doo anymore and continually simps over Velma for no reason. You know, it's very funny that the same people that try to use Fred to preach that men should be less toxic, less masculine, and do things like express their feelings are the same people that turned Shaggy into a simp and made a complete joke out of him when he expressed himself and confessed his feelings for Velma. Isn't that funny? I find that very funny for some reason. Strange. Drugs are definitely bad. What exactly is the point of making Shaggy so openly against drugs if it's not to assassinate his original personality of being a very chill, carefree guy that just loves to experience life? Yes, I'm going to continue calling him Shaggy regardless of his pointless name change. I don't even know what to say about Velma because she went from being this girl that was kind, super smart, quiet, very shy and reserved, but brave when she needed to be being just another race-swapped character that I honestly don't seem to care about, and I'm not sure why. So, in conclusion, is Velma as bad as they say? Yeah, it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It's a bad Scooby-Doo adaptation, but it's not exactly the worst show I've ever seen because the plot isn't completely horrible, I have to say. I'll definitely be watching the next episode because I'm actually interested in knowing what happens next, and I'm curious to see how the mystery unfolds, which is saying a lot because I essentially abandoned The Flash after season 6. I know I got that far. My mates abandoned it all the way back in season 4, but I persevered to season 6. Don't come at me. And I abandoned She-Hulk halfway into episode 1. You see, I redeemed myself in She-Hulk. So, I do have the capability to abandon bad shows, but right now, Velma isn't exactly the worst thing on earth. So I'm going to keep watching it and see where the show goes. And I'll see you guys in the next video. That was fun. Not the show. Making this video. That's fun. I like making videos. Gotta go edit.